And welcome to another socially awkward summertime episode of We Only Look Thin. I am Katherine Weigel. I am one of your hosts. I have lost 145 pounds. And with me today is the man of the house,
Donald Weigel. Socially awkward Donald Weigel. Yes, I'm the man of the house.
Oh, goodness.
By virtue of being the only member of the house with a Y chromosome.
Exactly. Is the person with the Y chromosome in the house?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I was having a conversation at work. I know I'm like already starting the episode by getting way off topic.
Banter.
I work with some young people, and this guy in his 20s told me he went car shopping with his mom not too long ago, and the salesperson kept addressing like questions to him. And he's like 26. He was with his mom car shopping.
Lady of the
and he said finally his mom just had to be like, "I'm the one buying the car. Ask me the questions."
Yeah.
But anyway.
Donald was with me when I bought my car, and I was just like, the faster we can get out of here, the better. I don't need a spiel, whatever. And I think we put Donald's name on it as the backup.
I didn't ask for it, but somehow the car is in my name.
And now everything goes to Donald.
I know.
So
anyway.
Maybe he'll be responsible for it in the end. But
yeah, we still haven't made all the progress yet. Anyway.
Oh, well, that's fine. But speaking of progress.
Yeah.
You don't know what I'm going to say?
I don't know what you're going to say?
No.
Oh, I know what I was going to say, speaking of progress.
Well, I was going to say that in 2 days' time, we will have been married for 23 years.
Oh, yeah. Well, by the time this episode airs, that'll be old news.
Be old. Well, hopefully we'll make it.
As we're recording it, we're 2 days away from our 23rd anniversary. Yeah, we're going to stay together for spite like we usually do.
Well, our daughter, because she's just a bundle of joy and basically just walking emo, she let me know that she's seen on the TikToks that old people get divorced.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, don't worry, grandparents get divorced. I've been looking at the TikToks of old people getting divorced, so there's still time. I'm
yeah,
like,
we were joking that now that we've been married 23 years, it's all downhill from here, that we're all, I mean, downhill like in a good way. It's like we can coasting, not bad. Yeah, coasting for the rest of our marriage. And like she had to point out that old people get divorced as well.
I think we're so normal and loving and supportive that she just wishes she had something to complain about. So she just is like, "Oh, are your parents divorced? Is that why you're so mad?" No, they're in love and they like each other. It's kind of boring.
Yeah, she gets really annoyed that we show each other affection and tell her we love her and things like that.
Yeah, that's not cool, man. It's not what they're doing on the TikToks.
But what I was going to say in terms of speaking of progress, we are coming hot off of our series of things you don't want to hear about weight loss and fitness.
Dun, dun, dun.
I just wanted to, I am at 5.5 years, I guess, of working on all of this.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been working on it for my whole life, but really on the
hardly working.
Or hardly working, yeah. Or wow.
Oh my gosh.
I actually said that to our daughter recently. Working hard or hardly working. Anyway, so I wanted to mention we mentioned on the episode that you will gain weight a whole bunch of times. And even after all of this time, I have maintained my weight loss for about 3.5 years now, my 100-pound weight loss. And 2 weeks ago, was rock solid on my calories and my steps. Hit my step goal every day, 7 days. Stayed within my calorie goal every day. And I lost about 2.5 pounds that week.
And be nice.
Yes, that means
must be nice. I was trying to save time. This is going to be a long episode, so I wanted to say, and be nice to save time.
Exactly.
This must be nice.
And which is a lot for me. I rarely ever go down that much. So then this week, I was rock solid on my calories. I hit my step goal every day. And I gained a pound this week.
Hooray!
Got on the scale expecting more. I was expecting to be down even more and gained a pound. So really the point here is don't get discouraged.
Yeah.
Like things happen. There are weird anomalies. There's water weight. There's like time of day. Like stuff happens.
The tides
it's just
changing.
a blip. It's not an excuse to give up. Like what am I going to do? I gained a pound this week, so I'll be like, well, I guess I may as well just gain 100 pounds back. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's going to be me only look thin
Yes.
instead of
Exactly.
Just turn that W upside down. It's just like a font thing.
As long as we don't take pictures of me, I can just pretend, right?
just super close up, like half your face with. I've actually found. I used to put babies in front of me in pictures.
You really
boulders,
did.
bushes,
You
folders.
put everything in front of you.
Oh,
There
I was
a
very strategic.
picture of you with a file folder recently.
Yeah, it's so slimming. File folders are so slimming.
Exactly, and sweater vests. That was like another big thing that you wore to look slimming.
Yeah, it didn't work though. But fun news. Speaking of things that happen, by the time this comes out, I will actually be at my 4-year anniversary of maintaining.
Congratulations.
Clap, clap, clap. That's bona fide. That's like an undergraduate degree.
Which one is more important to you, our wedding anniversary or the weight maintaining anniversary?
Our marriage.
Oh, what? Wow, that's good. I'm
oh man.
I would not have been upset if you had said the weight maintaining, actually.
No, I am very, very grateful that we were on this journey together.
Congratulations. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you. It feels a little jinxy saying congratulations to me before the actual 4-year, but I actually didn't. I don't believe in very much in this world. But I do believe in the power of the jinx. Yeah. That is my,
no, that's a proven fact. No,
thing.
It's science. Science has proven that the jinx works.
Oh, sure. I didn't buy a sweatshirt for my college until a week before graduation.
This is a true story because she was afraid of jinxing the fact that she was going to graduate.
If I fail out and I have to get rid of my sweatshirt, that is going to be the most embarrassing thing. So I waited until a week before graduation. So I don't have a 4-year thing for Wolt. I don't know, but I definitely believe in the power of the jinx. So hopefully we won't have to edit this out at the when
I have to edit it out because you've gained 150 pounds back in the next couple of weeks.
I could do it though because you know what? Summer is coming.
Oh yeah,
summer is. It is happening right now, everybody. Look, I made a great transition.
I am an ignorant American, and I don't know what holidays they celebrate around the world, but we've just recently celebrated Memorial Day here in the United States.
Yes,
as we record this, it's actually like 2 days ahead, but I'm confusing everybody by talking about things that haven't happened yet. But we've just recently celebrated Memorial Day, and that is in America. At least it's the start of the summer movie season, typically. But it's basically the kickoff of summer. Yeah.
And I know in the U.S., I look at calendars and think about all of the food opportunities that I have. I'm a little jealous of our listeners in the U.K. who get bank holidays. They just call them bank holidays.
Yeah.
They get all the bank holidays.
For our listeners around the world, Memorial Day is typically celebrated on the last Monday in May. So that kind of kicks off the summer season.
But in this episode, if we're done with the banter, are we done?
Yeah, no.
We got accused of too little banter 2 weeks ago.
We finished banting.
Yes.
This concludes the banting portion of the episode. Now we will be serious and talk like robots.
Yeah, because nothing says summer like robots.
Right, exactly.
But in this weight loss journey venture, we have become big fans of really looking at the months and the seasons ahead to really start planning and predicting what is going to happen in the summer months.
Yes.
I know in the past, we would look at certain seasons as basically just food seasons.
Yeah,
like, oh, relaxing, family, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, ooh, what treats can I get? Like the ice cream truck sound is basically the sound of summer.
Yeah, other people are interested in, going to beaches or,
family time.
Vacations, family time,
reunions,
et cetera. And for me, it was sort of like, I was like, always, that stuff is fine, but when do I get to eat? And what do I get to eat?
When
and
I go,
how often do I get to eat it?
Yeah. We went to Louisiana, I think, New Orleans.
Yes.
New Orleans, America.
Yes.
And basically just ate our way through the city like
we certainly
Godzilla
did.
with our mouths.
Yeah, we went for a wedding in the summertime, and anytime we did anything, it would be an excuse to eat a whole bunch of food. And I now have learned that one of the keys to hitting my weight loss goal, to hitting my goal weight, and to maintaining it is to plan ahead. We've done other episodes in the past, the 365 surprises, etc., about planning ahead. And so what we would like to do is look ahead to the summer and ask ourselves, what kind of summer are you going to have? What sort of obstacles are going to be in your way, so to speak? What sort of trips? What sort of plans? And this year, we are coming into it with the added layer of COVID, of the pandemic over everything. And a lot of places are opening up. California is about to open up fully in a couple of weeks, and we're not sure exactly how we're going to react to this, but we know we're kind of out of practice on going places and seeing people and doing things, and we're not sure how soon we're actually going to do these things. But I know a lot of people, they are coming, and I know a lot of people are already, going on trips, planning trips, and so we want to look at the summer and figure out how we're going to best deal with this from a weight loss and fitness perspective.
Right, because if you are listening, dear listener, which you are, congratulations, hello,
if you can hear my words, then you're listening. We are coming at every season, and for our Southern Hemisphere members, hello and welcome. So Donald will in post just fix summer to say like winter. He'll do that, definitely. I was almost going to say, good day.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
I know.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, I apologize.
Yeah, that didn't.
I was almost going to say it, and then I said it.
And then you said it. I didn't say it, so you can still like me.
Yeah. Catherine is the favorite.
But we have to put the filter or the lens of weight management into every decision that we make. Every time I have come into a situation forgetting that I have disordered eating patterns, I gained 5 pounds with every passing vacation, every trip, every, surprise that comes my way.
Yeah.
I was a victim to weight gain for decades. And like Donald was saying, we have gotten to the point in this weight loss journey venture that we have been planning for indulgences instead of letting them surprise us. And something we're doing in Wolt Place, WLT Place, our online accountability group.
We only look thin place.
Something that we've done at the beginning of each month is really looking at the month ahead and looking at the things that might disrupt our goals. So what we are going to ask you to do, Donald was asking as we were writing the notes for the show, do we have any tips for our listeners? And I say yes. If you follow the Gregorian calendar, please get one out. Maybe you have one on your phone.
Yes. If you follow the Mayan calendar, I'm not sure how to help you right now.
Yeah, no, that's your own. Find another podcast. We can't be all things to all people.
I think that ended in 2020 or something anyway.
But get out your calendar. We're looking at the months of June, July, and August, maybe into a little bit of September as summer rolls out, depending on when your kids get out of school or sort of what your summer looks like. But we'd love for you to look at the months ahead in this episode. And as Donald was saying, depending on what part of the world you're in, COVID restrictions may be lifting. They might just be buckling down a little bit more. But I know in a lot of places, people are starting to reintegrate into society, kind of like Encino Man. Maybe you're Brendan Fraser. You're exactly. A caveman for some reason.
Right. You're a caveman who's been in deep freeze, and now you're being thawed.
And now you're going to be a Cool Beans teenager
unleashed
back
upon
into
the
society.
World. Right. You're Cool Beans teenager. You know you're cool because you're wearing your baseball cap backwards. Yeah.
And you're carrying a skateboard, not riding it, because that would be weird.
Exactly.
But we're getting to a point where restaurants are opening up, ballparks, like amusement parks, all the different kinds of parks are opening up. And we might have forgotten how to manage society. We have talked before about, I think someone mentioned that we talked about not losing weight in a vacuum. It's like you can't just stay home and lose weight, and then when you're fixed and better, then go back into society. But many of us have been isolating at home for 15, 16 months, and you might be at a point where now you're going back into society and you want to help rebuild the economy.
Yeah.
One bite at a time.
Yeah. Yeah.
One food choice at a time.
You might see it as your duty to eat your way through all of the local restaurants in your neighborhood now.
Yeah. But we, as people with disordered eating patterns, have to keep in mind that we can't solve the economy's problems with our mouths. It is our responsibility to take care of our health goals. And part of that is not forgetting that part of the 365 surprises that we talked about, there are like 90 summer days that might be surprising to you if you don't plan ahead for them.
Yeah, and I know that I have done this throughout most of my life. I will be fine as long as I'm in my normal routine. I can stick to my normal plan. I can do my exercise when I have it planned. I can prep my meals. I can eat when I want to eat and what I want to eat. But then the second that I have a 3-day weekend, or I get in the car for a road trip, or I get on an airplane or something, that it's just the whole thing goes out the window. It's like, as soon as my routine gets broken, my plan gets broken at exactly the same time.
Well, and the thing is that we can still be surprised and caught off guard by all of this.
Yeah.
After 46 years, I know that as soon as I get in the car for a road trip, I'm suddenly starving, and I'm like fistful of gorp is happening like immediately.
That classic,
Gorp.
The classic Clint Eastwood Western, a fistful of gorp.
Fistful of gorp.
And we used to, use it as an excuse. We would have, 3-day weekend road trip planned. It would be circled on the calendar for 2 months with big like stars and red circles and letters, and then we would get in the car and be like, what? I'm so surprised. I guess we have no choice but to stop and tank up for food.
We've got a 45-minute drive. Better tank up before we get on the road.
We would even just go to Disneyland.
Oh my gosh.
And we would
Which is a 45-minute drive.
Yeah, a 45-minute drive from us. We would stop and get breakfast burritos and all the sides and eat them in the car on the way down there. And then we would get there.
We wouldn't even get on the on-ramp. Yeah. And I was licking my fingers because they were all gone.
Ew. And also...
I wasn't driving. You were driving.
I just ew at licking your fingers. Anyway, I have a thing about people licking their fingers and then touching paper to move it. It really grosses me out. But anyway, I digress. Plus, that's extra calories you don't need. We would then get to Disneyland, and the first thing we would do is stop and get like breakfast churros or something like that. And then, it was just
basically just food-based
off
activities.
to the races in terms of snacks. And we would do that on, longer road trips or whatever. And I remember we went on a trip. We actually went to Europe like 10, 12 years ago, and we packed a box or two of protein bars. And the idea was we were going to eat the protein bars instead of going out to eat and stuff. And I think we just, like, within the first few days, ate all the protein bars.
Never in the history of pacing myself have I paced myself.
Didn't slow down. Like, it didn't stop us from eating out one time.
Nope, gotta tank up.
Yeah, and so we're sort of talking about look ahead, figure out what you've got coming up, and actually don't use it as an excuse just to go crazy with food, but actually try and think about what you're going to do and how you're going to at least limit the damage, that you're going to do when these events come up, when these road trips, these actual vacations come up.
Well, and I think too, we have to look at the kind of people we are in summer. For some people, it is a time of absolutely no plans, which is terrifying.
Yeah.
It's a time when maybe kids are out of school, your work cycle has changed. If you're a teacher or you do seasonal work, you have more flexibility, which then leads to a lot of boring downtime with food.
Yeah.
You might be, people might be coming to visit you. You might be going to visit other people. You might be going away on a vacation, barbecues, that kind of thing. So the first thing I will ask you to do is to, again, break out your Gregorian calendar. I should just call it that forever. just sounds so fancy.
I love that you're having to specify the Gregorian calendar.
No, like, when our daughter learns a new word and then she just says it all the time. I was like that too. I'm not dissing kids.
I actually love it. I love that she flexes her vocabulary muscles.
But are you familiar with okay, I'll stop saying Gregorian calendar. So, okay. So something that we're doing in Wolt Place is actually looking at the month ahead. And for June, for example, it's important to really look at your obstacles or stumbling blocks that might be coming your way just in normal life. For example, if you are a lady listening to the show.
This podcast is for the ladies.
As a Y chromosome? Is that the one that I have?
No, double X.
Double X.
Yeah, exactly.
Chromosome, sorry. I don't know what chromosomes are. I don't even know if they're real. Really,
know.
I've never seen one. So looking at the month of June, I'm just going to name months. Really think about the obstacles coming your way. So something that might be a good or a bad would be maybe Father's Day. In the U.S., we're celebrating that. But I know that different holidays have different impacts on different people.
Yeah, that is a holiday in the month of June on the Gregorian calendar.
Man, just rolls off the tongue. No, but sometimes if you've suffered a loss or an estranged relationship or something like that, Father's Day can be a celebration or a setback.
Yeah, and like we said, we just had Memorial Day, which is a 3-day weekend, and traditionally that's like a huge, barbecue, eat a lot of food, 3-day weekend, and then Father's Day, and then at the end of the summer you've got Labor Day, and maybe you've got on top of that you've got your birthdays in the summer, or a close loved one's birthday is in the summer,
4th of July.
4th of July here in America. Very good. Yes. I apparently couldn't think of one other holiday.
So looking at the actual holidays that are coming up that might be stumbling blocks, if people are coming to visit you, if you have plans to go away. Also, there's that time of the month thing. I can't remember if I actually said that about ladies listening to the show.
Oh, yeah. No, sorry. I interrupted with my chat of Gregorian calendars.
Yeah. Man, why even bother? But there are things that get in our way regardless of the season. And then there are these special holidays. And then there's the going away. When we're looking at indulgences in the summertime, we might just think, oh, we've got a trip coming up, and that might throw me off. But actually looking at the number of food opportunities coming your way, you might be thinking, oh, we're going away in July for a week. What am I to do? But then you forget, oh, well, the week before that, we had the baseball playoff barbecue, and then we had 4th of July. Oh, and we also had Father's Day, and we had, people from out of town. And once we look at the entire summer and go, oh gosh, there are 25 days in the summer that I'm going to be off track. Suddenly it's not so special.
Yeah.
Suddenly it's like 50% of your summer are special days, which doesn't make them very special.
Yeah. And we've, talked a lot about loopholes and invoking loopholes, and frankly, just how we used to and still sometimes do lie to ourselves. And I used to use all of those things as just an excuse to eat, and just throw up my hands and say to myself, well, there's nothing I can do. I may as well just keep eating. So if you're anything like me, you would spend most of your adult life just actually looking for excuses just to eat. Just ways that you could convince yourself that you had no choice but to eat, or even just that you deserved it, or that this was an occasion to just go crazy. I would look for those things all the time. And now that I'm honest with myself, I know when I'm doing it, and then therefore I stop myself from doing it.
So again, as you're looking at your summer, oh, and I forgot, what also? There's Saturdays and Sundays.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
months and months of Saturdays and Sundays. Maybe Monday through Friday you've got it figured out, but then Saturdays and Sundays, suddenly that's basically every single day.
You had a hard week, so you deserve to get treats on the weekend.
We sure do.
Every single weekend.
So here are some things to consider. If you're making a list in your head, here it comes. If you're going away this summer, how many days are you going to be away? I think the way I plan for 2 days out of town is very different than looking at the impact of a week or 2 weeks out of town.
For sure.
How many times is your summer going to be disrupted with barbecues, visits, vacations, holidays, time of the month, all of that? how much is going to be disrupted? The next question is, what do you actually want from your summer? Are you telling yourself, I want, this is going to be the summer that I lose 20 pounds. This is the summer that, I'm finally going to train for the half marathon. Looking at your actual calendar, is your calendar in alignment with the plan that you think you have? Is it really realistic to think that you're going to lose 20 pounds if you're getting a new roof put on and you're going on vacation for 4 weeks out of town with, to Disney World or something like that? Is it really realistic to think that that matches up with a 20-pound loss?
And we say this at the holidays too. Sometimes maintaining your weight is a victory.
Yeah.
Sometimes limiting the damage that you do. Sometimes staying at the same weight really is a great accomplishment. Like there were many times in my life where I would have much preferred to have stayed at the same weight rather than gaining a whole bunch of weight like I did so many times.
Right. So looking at the full summer calendar, is it realistic week by week, month by month, to lose weight, maintain weight? Or if you don't have any idea what you're doing, like I've been know for years, I look like this now.
That's the voice?
That's the voice. I hope I didn't chatter anything. But are you looking at gaining this summer? If you don't make any plans, if you don't take agency in your life and in your choices in the months ahead, you could gain weight. There used to be a time where I would just assume I'm going to go visit my grandmother for a week. I will gain 5 pounds.
Yeah.
Like easy peasy.
Yeah, it was just sort of a given.
Yeah.
It was just like, well, this is what's going to happen.
This is what's going to happen. So let's say you've got 4 trips planned. So that's 5 pounds a trip.
Yeah.
So that's 20 pounds.
I'm no mathematician, but that's got to be like 15, 16 pounds at that point.
It checks out. So really looking at today and saying, am I willing to be up on the scale 20 pounds? Because so often I can say, and I still actually do this, when things settle down, when school is out, then I'll figure out my plans.
Yeah.
When school is back in session, then I'll figure it out. When it's the holiday break, then I'll finally get it together. And we can keep pushing our habits down the road for this fictional perfect time where everything is in alignment. Because guess what? We haven't even talked about the X factor.
No.
The surprise things that happen that get in our way, even as we're looking at the calendar, the things that disrupt. Cars break down, roofs leak, family illnesses, all these different things that come up.
Or even just unexpectedly, like you get visitors or, somebody's coming to town you weren't planning for. Like things like that could really throw me off of my health and fitness and eating plans.
Somebody I know, somebody in Wool Place, WLT Place, Wool Place. Wool Place, come visit us at Wool Place. Said that a new cookie store opened up next to their office.
Yeah.
What kind of city planning
is
that?
Monstrous. That's monstrous. They really shouldn't allow that sort of thing.
But that's the thing, too. As companies are going back, people are going back into the office, and then suddenly there's more work indulgences. We did working 9 to 5 episode. Yeah. We only look thin.
I'm not going to describe the cookie, but somebody at work brought in a brand new mass market cookie and was basically forcing them on people yesterday at work, and it's pretty repugnant when stuff like that happens.
Repugnant. That's a good. We should use that. We'll replace Gregorian with repugnant.
Yeah, exactly.
But we can keep falling victim to what am I to do? I am at the whim of the hotel, of the people I'm staying with, of my office space, of the free things that come in the mail. All of these, obstacles can get thrown our way. And I promise you, for 41 years, I enjoyed being a victim to all of the food opportunities thrown my way. We're on vacation. I don't know what they're going to have. I'm staying at a friend's house. I don't know what they're serving. We pretty much know what food looks like at this point.
Right.
It's not like people are going to be serving us, I don't know, rocks and pebbles. What am I to do with it? We know that there's protein, carbs, fat, sweet things. it's not a shock. Like,
Right.
I was shocked to see that they serve potatoes au gratin.
Right.
I don't even know. How would you even track that? What am I to do?
And I spent most of my adult life saying vague things like, well, this summer I really should lose some weight.
Oh, sure.
This summer I really should eat healthier. This summer I really should exercise more. And I didn't actually make any kind of a plan. And then I would have all of this guilt and shame, and I would look for these excuses to eat more to relieve my guilt and shame. And it was just this vicious circle of like constantly, telling myself I should make these plans without actually specifically making any. So we're asking you, look at your summer ahead, decide what kind of summer that you want to have, and actually make an action plan of some kind. Decide you're going to do something, decide what you're going to do, and actually put it into place. And we're going to, in upcoming episodes, talk more about the kinds of obstacles that are going to come in your way and some practical tips for how to get around them and what to do and actual practical plans to make. But start now with looking ahead at your summer, figure out what's coming, and make a plan. Decide what kind of summer you want to have.
And as Donald has said in the past, which maybe should be on a T-shirt or a bumper sticker, is if you fail to plan, you don't have a plan.
Yeah.
And whatever wish you make about losing weight, if it's not realistic and based on actual plans and habits, then nothing is actually going to happen. And then suddenly you're going to find yourself on Labor Day in the U.S. I don't know if you have Labor Days in other countries, but you're going to find yourself full of regret and then saying to yourself, you know what? It's a great time to start. When the Gregorian calendar turns to 2022, then I'll finally make the changes.
Yeah, the summer's over, and you're basically going to give up on the rest of the year because the holidays are coming, and you've got Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas, and then before you know it, an entire another year has gone by, and you haven't done a thing.
Yeah, and look, we're all trying to figure out the post-pandemic, in-pandemic world. We have a couple of things coming up this summer that I'm going to have to navigate around, and it will be interesting to see what I actually do with them.
I'm interested to see.
But as Donald said, in the coming episodes, we're going to talk about the different kinds of trips that you might take, whether you have people visiting you visiting people, going and staying in something called a hotel, which is a place that you don't live in.
I remember those from the before time.
Yeah, or timeshares, rental properties, those kinds of things. We're going to give you practical tips and tricks to manage those situations.
And we might even talk about the staycation.
The staycation. Yeah. I'm staycating at home. But there are so many different ways to handle it. And the thing that, if you want to just skip ahead and maybe not listen to those episodes, we want you to because we want the downloads.
Why would they want to skip episodes?
But if you want, oh man, I'm going to have to wait. Donald and I track. I have been maintaining for 4 years. I track every day.
Yeah.
When we go on vacation, this is just a shortcut teaser. I just pre-track 3,000 calories a day just to put something in there. Because guess what? Even if you don't track the calories are still happening. So that's kind of the jump ahead quick part of it. But we can be advocates for our health in the summertime, whether it's a setback, whether you've got structure, no structure. There are so many different ways to enjoy summertime, but this is an opportunity for you to create new habits. As a clean slate, we're going into a new season. This is the time to embrace and not just throw up your hands at the ice cream truck. Please, please, please give me a Choco Taco. This is a time. This is a time to really advocate for yourself and make some positive changes for the rest of 2021. We are in the 6th month of the year. That means halfway through.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Time sure flies.
It sure does. But this is a time to embrace new goals and new strategies and have that growth mindset. Every day is an opportunity to make positive changes. And gosh darn it, if we aren't living proof, Donald.
Yes, indeed we are. And speaking of time flying, you have come to the end of another episode of We Only Look Thin, and we thank you so much for listening. We really do appreciate each and every one of you. If you would like to hear more of our episodes, they are all available wherever you found this one, and also on our website. I actually listened to an old episode of our show on our website this morning at weonlylookthin.com.
I know. Donald was listening to it. I was like, who are you listening to? Because it was Donald, but he had a different speaking voice back then. It sounded really old-timey.
Our early episodes don't sound great.
Welcome to We Only Look Thin, the podcast for you.
That's right. It's all crackling and like an old-timey radio, exactly.
Victrola version.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, and if you're, let's see, did we talk about our website? We did talk about our website.
I mentioned the weonlylookthin.com.
I'm just thinking ahead. If you're at our website and you're a lady, you can click on Join Our Support Group. Wolt Place, W-O-L-T Place, is a Facebook-based accountability and support group for women. We are not a weight loss plan, but we are a place to work on yourself while still being yourself and maybe out of the prying eyes of the public.
Oh, yeah.
So we do Zoom meetings multiple times a week. There's lots of accountability and support and subgroups. So if you want to find out more about that, go to our website. We have 2 subscription plans, a monthly plan with a 3-day complimentary trial and a 3-month plan with a 7-day complimentary trial to see if Wolt Place would be good for you.
Yeah, you can't beat it. And one of the best things about it is that you get direct access to Katherine Weigel. Who has so much wonderful advice. I know I sound like I'm being snarky, but she really does. And she really is, changing lives in there. I just do administrative stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah,
but,
it's cool. It's for ladies, as
I
said.
Yeah,
and dudes just don't participate. Sorry, guys.
I don't want to get off on like another thing because we're trying to wrap up the episode, but I feel like a lot of times you say something and then I repeat it on the podcast, and then people on the website, on our site, or on Facebook or whatever, they're like, "Oh man, that thing Donald said was so good."
I like you giving credit for things.
And I'm like, "Oh yeah, that thing I came up with and
we've been
invented
married
on
so
my
long,
own."
I don't know who's what and who does what.
All of the gems you come up with are 50% mine, is what we're saying.
It's fine. It's fine.
If you would like to, moving on, if you would like to find us on the socials, as everyone says, we are on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at We Only Look Thin. And I actually have been more active on Twitter lately, so I'm trying to step up my tweet game.
Your tweet game. And if you would like to send us episode idea or question, you can email us at weonlylookthin@gmail.com. Might take a while to get back to you. We will do our very best. We get inundated with amazing content ideas.
Yeah, we are definitely not at inbox zero, I'll tell you that much.
No, we're not at inbox zero, but doing my best, so be patient if you could. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. We're probably out doing something inspiring. If you don't hear back from us, just assume we're doing something. We're counting calories somewhere.
Checking email takes away from all the inspiring time that we have out there, so we can't be expected to check email all the time.
I love how negative we're getting with this.
Yeah.
But let's turn to positive, and I am positive that if you head over to Apple Podcast and give us 5 stars, we would very much appreciate it.
Yeah, we sure would. Every review we get really helps boost us in searches when people are looking for podcasts like ours. And plus, all those 5-star reviews and all those nice things that you say really make us feel good. We are barreling down on 500 5-star reviews, and it would really be great if you would help us get there.
It sure would. So if you're still not sure if A Fistful of Gorp is a Clint Eastwood movie or something Donald and I do the second we close the door and buckle up for vacation, just remember that Donald and I are an inspiration.
The information that you hear on this podcast is for informational purposes only. The hosts are not medical professionals. You should always consult with your doctor, nurse, or other certified health professional before beginning any diet or fitness program.
And I spent most of my life doing things like
World War II flying ace just flew
definitely
over
the Red Baron coming to get us.